As I stare into my crystal ball, I can see the future of Nintendo, and it is glorious. What will Nintendo do in 2024? Only I can tell you. "2023 is almost over. Time to start predicting 2024 because there's nothing else to do. The predictions in this video aren't in any particular order. However, I've tried to keep the stuff that we can most likely expect from each franchise first, and then talk about my hopes and wishes second. However, keep in mind mistakes are made, and this is me just talking randomly. Enough liability coverage. Moving on. No matter what happens in 2024, I think everything depends on whether or not Nintendo announces or releases their next console. Because if we do get a new console, and it does seem very likely that it's going to happen soon. We've been hearing rumors now for at least 2 years, and eventually it's gotta come out. They've gotta release a new console sometime. I'm still not 100% certain, but a lot of people that do know what they're talking about say it's very likely, so there is a good chance. And if it does happen, and Nintendo does release a new console, I think it is very likely, extremely likely, that we will get a new Mario title on that. And not just something like Mario plus Rabbids, it will be a main Mario title, like a 3D platformer, like Mario Odyssey or Mario Galaxy. And I think it will probably be the launch title. Nintendo likes to use one of 2 franchises as launch titles, that being Mario and Zelda. And we just did get Tears of the Kingdom. And Zelda's release schedule is very spread out, so it's very likely that we will get a Mario launch title, because it's been a while since we've gotten a big 3D Mario game. And as much as I'd love it to be a sequel to Mario Odyssey, and I'm not ruling it out, there's still a chance, I just think at this point, this many years after the first Mario Odyssey, I think a direct sequel is kind of slim. And of course, if Nintendo doesn't release a console, we have no proof that they are, the odds of getting a brand new big 3D Mario game are pretty much zero. I don't think there's very good odds that we're going to get a big 3D Mario game next year on the Switch. We are getting close to the next console, whether it is next year or the next, and they're going to hold on to that big Mario game until it launches. But there is some Mario stuff that we can expect for 2024, even without a new console releasing. Alongside stuff that's already been confirmed, like the Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake, I think some DLC for Mario Bros. Wonder is in the realm of possibilities. I don't know exactly when in 2024 we can expect it, but I would like to say they possibly could reveal it during the June Direct, if that does happen. I think the February Direct would be too soon, and waiting until June would just make more sense. Talking about DLC, the Mario Kart DLC finished, so they're done with that game now. Presumably. I don't think they're going to bring it back for a 4th time. So we can finally start expecting news or any amount of information regarding Mario Kart 9. Like with 3D Mario, I'd like to say that it's extremely likely they're going to hold on to that until the next console. Mario Kart sells itself, so having one on a brand new system is only going to help it raise sales. Alright, so it's time for a wild Mario prediction. We've already gotten a Paper Mario game. We've gotten Mario RPG. I think we could get a Mario and Luigi. Because as far as I know, I'm pretty sure Nintendo bought the company that made the Mario and Luigi games. Correct me if I'm wrong. So what have they been working on? You know, I think it's likely that we could get a new Mario and Luigi game, but at the same time, with all the remakes that Nintendo has been doing, I think it's even more likely that we will receive a remake of a Mario and Luigi game. And I predict that it will be in the style of the Mario vs. Donkey Kong remake. Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games are already on the Switch, so which game would they remake? Probably one from the DS or 3DS. 3DS remakes are a thing now. We're getting Luigi's Mansion 2 next year. So I think a remake of a Mario and Luigi game is a possibility now, and possibly next year. Maybe we'll get a Hey Pikmin remake. Now, of course, predicting that Nintendo is gonna release a Mario game isn't that impressive. My cat could do that, so let's move on. Zelda is probably the next franchise you'd expect me to talk about, and you're right. As far as games go, the odds of getting a full, first-party, mainline 3D Zelda game are practically zero. We just got Tears of the Kingdom, they're not going to release a Zelda game that big for a while, so what could we expect? Well, they are making a Zelda movie. They didn't give us a release date or even a time frame, so I have no idea when it's going to come. There's a chance they may do like they did with the Mario movie and wait 6 years from announcing it to release it. However, the Mario movie did really well, and I don't think they're going to want to wait that many years to release their next film. So there is a chance it could release next year. And if they did, it would be very wise to release a Zelda game around that same time frame. Even without the movie, I'd like to say there are two possibilities for a Zelda game that we could get next year. The first one is another Hyrule Warriors game, but about Tears of the Kingdom this time. They made Age of Calamity, now it's time for Age of Upheaval or something like that. The second possibility is another remake like Link's Awakening. I would love it if they would remake something like Spirit Tracks or The Phantom Hourglass or A Link Between Worlds. Like I said, 3DS games are a possibility now. I don't really see much else happening for Zelda next year. I could be really wrong, and I hope I am. Next prediction! Pikmin 4 DLC. You've probably heard a lot of other really famous YouTubers talking about their hopes for Pikmin 4 DLC, so I'm not going to spend too much time here, but I'm just going to say that if they do release DLC, and it's just more Dandori battles, I'm probably not going to buy it. If it's more Dandori challenges, like the Sage Leaf challenges, probably, yes, maybe. But if it's just more battles, no. That's all I'm going to say. This isn't a prediction, this is 100% happening, but just because it's on my list of Nintendo franchises, I'm gonna say it. We're gonna get the Splatoon 3 Side Order DLC next year. Next franchise, Kirby. Again, this is nothing that's wild or weird to predict. Kirby games are as consistent as Mario games. They like to give us at least one every year. So next year, we will get something Kirby. Continuing down the list, Metroid. I am going to predict that we are going to get Metroid Prime 2 Remastered next year. Possibly alongside Metroid Prime 3, maybe in the same case, like they did Pikmin 1+2. Unlikely, they're probably going to keep them separate. If Nintendo does release a new console next year, Metroid Prime 4 will finally release. The way I think it's going to work is they're going to treat it like Breath of the Wild. It's going to be a launch title for the next system, but simultaneously it's going to be released on the Switch. Because they said it was going to be released on the Switch. And as much as I'd love it, if the next console is as powerful as the rumors say, for Metroid Prime 4 to take full advantage of its capabilities, if they have even been making this game for the past few years, they have been building it off of the Switch's hardware. There is a chance that they've decided to wait this long to release it, so they could release it on a system with more power. That could be what's going on. I predict something Pokemon next year. But again, that's nothing impressive, my cat could predict that. And I know practically nothing about Pokemon, I just know it's as consistent as Mario and Kirby. There is a chance, I've probably used that word 100 times now, but there is a chance that we could get something really big next year. So far, all we have are remakes scheduled for the future. Nintendo hasn't announced anything big and new. They didn't announce anything at the Game Awards, I was expecting them to. And a lot of this silence is because people are saying that they're saving stuff for the next console. And if there is another console, that makes perfect sense. But there's a possibility that they haven't said anything yet, because they're waiting to reveal it at the right time. I predict with 50% confidence that Nintendo might possibly reveal a brand new IP. And it will be something like Splatoon, something experimental, something fresh. Nintendo hasn't released anything new in a very long time, and if they're not waiting for the next console, next year is the time. Most people will say that Nintendo's recent activity is pointing towards a new console, but they could be misreading the signs, and it may be a new franchise. Just putting that out there, let me know in the comments what you think of that. Time for the final prediction. This year we saw the revival of F-Zero with F-Zero 99. And I'm going to predict that we are going to get Star Fox 99. But before, when we hear rumors that a new Star Fox game is coming, everyone's going to think we're getting a brand new one, and when they reveal Star Fox 99, everyone's going to be disappointed. That's all I'm saying. It's going to happen. I hope this video has not been a complete waste of your time, and hopefully I won't embarrass myself too much with the outcome of 2024. You can come back to this video and write in the comments how many times I get stuff wrong. But I do have one last prediction. Next year, your biggest dream will come true if you subscribe to me and like this video and share it. If you don't, bad stuff's gonna happen. So I'd go ahead and do that if I were you. I really would. I'm not joking.